All right, so we all know the story of Noah's Ark, right? Big boat, pairs of animals, a world-ending flood. It's a classic. But what if there's something way, way deeper going on in that story? What if it's not just an ancient tale, but an ontological blueprint, basically a schematic for how reality itself gets repaired after a total system failure? That's what we're going to dig into today. We're looking at Genesis 8 not as a history lesson, but as the very architecture of rescue.
So that leads us to this massive question. How does a broken world even begin to fix itself? And let's be super clear, the flood in this story wasn't just some bad weather. It was a complete, total system crash. The world had spun out into what you could call moral entropy, just a complete breakdown of order, violence everywhere. It was literally decreating itself, sliding back into that primordial chaos you read about at the very start of Genesis. So the real question isn't just about drying up some water. It's, how do you reboot reality?
Okay, to really wrap our heads around the problem, you have to understand this one key idea, the closed system. The world before the flood, according to this way of reading the text, was exactly that. It was a system completely cut off from its source, from its creator. And what happens to any closed system? Well, it just decays. It spirals into more and more disorder. Think of it like a phone that's been unplugged from the charger. Eventually, the battery dies and the screen goes dark. It can't recharge itself. That's the world before the flood, a feedback loop of chaos that had no way to fix itself from the inside.
And that's the whole problem, right? A closed system is, by definition, trapped. It cannot generate a solution from within its own brokenness. So the rescue, the repair, it has to come from the outside. Something has to intervene and break the loop.
And that intervention, it happens in this one simple, incredible phrase. And God remembered Noah. Now, remembered here doesn't mean God was like, oh yeah, that guy Noah, almost forgot about him. No, in the original Hebrew, it's way more active than that. It's an act of what you could call ontological re-engagement. In other words, the Creator is intentionally plugging back into the broken system to kickstart its repair. This is the switch being flipped. The rescue operation is officially a go. And what's so cool is that the verse immediately lays out this perfect three-part grammar for rescue. It's all right there. First, you've got the unseen will, the intention behind it all. That's God remembered, the source initiating the whole plan. Then you get the active force, the thing that actually makes it happen. God sends a wind to pass over the earth. And get this, the Hebrew word for that is ruach, which is the exact same word for spirit. This is the power that executes the will. And finally, what's the result? The resulting order, the waters assuaged. The visible world starts to come back into form. It's this beautiful pattern, intention, action, result.
Okay, so the cosmic reset button has been pushed from the outside, but that creates a whole new problem, this time on the inside. The camera zooms in on Noah, stuck in the ark, floating on a world that's being remade. And his challenge is huge. How do you know when it's safe out there? How do you read the signs and figure out if reality is stable again?
So what does he do? He sends out 2 scouts. And these 2 birds, they're not just birds. They represent 2 totally opposite ways of navigating reality. First, there's the raven. Think of the raven as a broken compass. It flies to and fro without any real purpose. As a scavenger, it can actually thrive in the chaos, living off the carrion left by the flood. And because of that, it comes back with 0 useful information. Then you have the dove. The dove is the complete opposite. It's actively searching for coherence, for order. It needs a solid, stable place to land. It cannot survive on chaos. It's looking for a sign that the world is working again.
And this is where it gets really brilliant. The dove's journey unfolds in 3 distinct stages. It's like Noah's running a series of diagnostic tests on reality itself. The first flight, the dove comes right back. Why? No place to land. Test results. The world is still incoherent, still water and chaos. Not ready. The second flight, this time, it returns with an olive leaf. Wow! That's a tangible symbol of repair. It's proof that life, the garden of the world, is regenerating. And the third flight, the dove doesn't come back at all. And that's the final confirmation. It means the order outside the ark now matches the order inside the ark. The system is stable.
So the tests are complete. Reality has been rebooted and confirmed stable. The command comes, the door opens, and Noah and his family step out onto dry land for the first time in over a year. And what he does next, this very first act in a brand new world, is absolutely crucial. It sets the entire foundation for everything that follows.
Just think about that for a second. Your first priority after an ordeal like that, you'd think it would be survival, right? Build a house, find some food, get your bearings.
But that's not what Noah does. His first act isn't practical, it's liturgical. He builds an altar. With that one simple move, he is making a powerful statement. He's centering this entire new reality not on human survival, but on the divine source that made survival possible in the first place.
And this isn't just about, a nice religious feeling. This is an act of what you might call symbolic clarity. It's like ringing a giant cathedral bell in the middle of this new quiet world. It's a sound that declares this is the center, this is what's real. He is aligning the entire new creation with its source, right from the very first moment.
So Noah does his part, and God responds to the sacrifice. But this response is maybe not what you'd expect. It's not just a simple thank you. It contains a pretty shocking and very sobering diagnosis of the whole situation. It reveals the core bug in the system that the flood, for all its power, didn't actually fix.
And there it is. That's the chilling diagnosis. The flood washed the world clean, but it didn't wash the human heart. That tendency towards chaos, the same moral entropy that caused the collapse in the first place, is still present, inside the survivors. The root problem remains.
So, that raises the ultimate question, doesn't it? If the source of the fracture, the thing that broke the world, is still there, what's to stop the whole thing from breaking apart all over again? I mean, if the stability of the world depends on human moral performance, we're pretty much doomed to fail.
The solution the story gives is just fascinating. It isn't an internal fix, not yet anyway. Instead, God installs a new external framework, a brand new operating system for reality. He makes a promise, a covenant, that the fundamental rhythms of the cosmos, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night, that these things will hold steady no matter what kind of chaos humans create.
And this, right here, is the key. This is what holds the new world together. The stability of creation is no longer dependent on human goodness. It is a gift. You could call it a covenant of coherence. God essentially provides a stable stage, a reliable floor of predictable seasons so that the drama of the human story can play out without the constant threat of another total collapse.
Now that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If the simple, reliable structure of our world, the fact that the sun rises, that seasons change, that harvests come, if these aren't just natural processes, but are in fact the very architecture of grace holding reality together, then how does that change the way we live in it? What does it mean to live and work and create on a stage that is held firm not by our own efforts, but by a promise?